We have all been in an uncomfortable or trying situation, only to look across the room and witness another person seemingly enjoying themselves. We wonder how this is possible, or perhaps even conclude to ourselves in the moment that they are in fact insane. But in most cases, this couldn't be further from the truth. See, we go through life believing that we all see things the same way, in black and white, assuming that what we see is fact. The problem is that the universe is simply an interpretation. It is much like the internet in the fact that you will see what you want to. Once your universe algorithm latches on, it will give you an endless supply of whatever it is you want. You see, the universe is merely a reflection of yourself in a sense, given back to you what you put out there. Without ever seeing through someone else's eyes, how can we be sure that we are seeing the same thing at all, let alone experience it the same way? We tend to see only that which we feel is important, leaving out all the rest of the information that we deem useless. Do we truly identify with things in the universe? Or do we find things we like and let them be our identity? Also, is it impossible to have an identity without having something to compare it to? In order to have cold, we must have hot, and vice versa. Your uniqueness is not the difference between you and others, what you wear, how you do your hair, or whether you have visible abs or not. The thing that makes you unique is your perspective. It is your subjective deciphering of the universe and how it appears to you in real time or in reflection. Your identity is not what you like doing for fun, nor is it where you work. Your identity needs to be explained to be understood, and most people will not give you the time for this. One could learn more by asking you how things make you feel than by watching you do them. We cannot even rely on our own actions or reactions to help identify ourselves. We are constantly acting for whomever we are interacting with, therefore making us their perception of us and no closer to our real identity. There will always be people in the world who will go through life constantly worrying about things that are out of their control. They will inevitably spend huge amounts of energy trying to change things that cannot be changed, focusing on all of the bad things in life. One could say they live their life with the glass half empty. It is much easier to focus on the low-hanging fruit than it is to find the positive outcomes from every scenario. Necessity is not natural, so if you need something to make you happy, then you will identify as unhappy. Perception doesn't rely on physical matter. It supersedes the misconception of reality. One does not need a reason to suffer, to experience suffering. And although there is no legitimate reason behind it, the feeling is no less painful and real to the observer. The good news is that perception is not one of the things out of our control. Changes will not happen overnight, but with self-sustained cognitive therapy, one can eventually change one's way they view the world, as well as situations that at one time they were unable to see the positive in them, and all of a sudden it will become clear. You will eventually learn that you have a choice of where to sit, on the sunny side of the bus or on the dark side. Sometimes, seemingly bad things happen that turn out to be good things after all. You see, we do not know what comes next, so we cannot prepare for it. And if we assume, then we are taking ourselves in a completely different path than we must go. If you were to lose your eyesight tonight, you would eventually learn how to perceive the world in a completely different way than you previously knew, proving, in fact, that perception is not static. It is changeable. The only difference is, you would be highly motivated to experience it again, whereas in most cases, we would not want to change, or perhaps not even notice our perceptions are an issue. It is only through focusing on the things we can control that we may gain wisdom and strength to battle the things that we cannot. Acceptance and forgiveness are two of the hardest things for humans to attain, but also the most rewarding in the end.